It's important to have a certain amount of precision in your playing. Being precise will help your groove, it'll help your sound, and it'll also help other people play with you better. So it's important to develop your precision as much as possible. To demonstrate this, I'm going to work at a quarter note equals 90 with the metronome. And I'm going to play just our basic beat. And I'll just play it first, and then I'll show you some things that I'm sort of being aware of while I'm playing in order to sound good and groove good and maintain some precision. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so some things that I'm aware of while I'm doing this. One thing is that your hi-hat eighth notes need to be really even and really consistent. Okay, I don't want to be pushing and pulling the time at all with my hi-hat eighth notes. They need to be really tight. Okay, so that's kind of like a big focus. And then sort of the way I think of it is I line up my kick drum with the hi-hat notes, and I line up my snare drum with the hi-hat notes. Okay, so that they're played at exactly the same time. If I have a bass drum and a hi-hat, they come exactly the same time. Okay, I'm not flamming the two, in other words. It might sound like this. Okay, so they're at exactly the same time. And same with the snare drum. Exactly the same time, not flammed. Okay, exactly the same time. So I keep my hi-hat eighth notes real tight, and then I line up the other voices with that. That's not to say that I'm leading with the hi-hat necessarily. Actually, I usually lead with my kick drum. But I'm just using that as a focus. Okay, so when I play, everything is happening at the same time. Okay, so that's kind of the first stuff that I'm choosing to be aware of. Now also I'm working with a click, so it's really important to line up with the click. Okay, so it's that first stuff, and then I'm also listening to the click. Now, another thing that you want to think about in terms of precision is not just the precision of the notes that you're playing, but the precision of the sound that you're creating. We want consistency, okay? So with the hi-hat, I made the decision to play with the shoulder of the stick on the edge of the cymbals, and I keep it that way throughout the whole process, okay? Now, with the snare drum, I'm sort of playing a little off-center with the tip, without a rim shot. Kick drum, I'm pulling the beater off the head. Okay, so that's like the sound choices that I've made, and I want consistency. Okay, now I've also made a decision about the mix that I'm creating. With my hands, I've been playing with sort of a 1-to-1 ratio. The height of my right hand is pretty much the same as the height of my left hand. It's a 1-to-1 relationship. Okay? And then with the kick drum, I just make sure that that's in balance with the snare drum in most cases. I try and keep them equal, both in volume and in character. Okay? And I also made a decision about the dynamic level. Okay? My hands are coming about, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 6 inches off, okay? That's my height. So I got a decision about my sound, I got a decision about my mix, and I have a decision about my dynamic range, my volume, okay? And then you combine that with all the awareness that I have about my note placement and my tightness with the click, and hopefully you're getting something that sounds very consistent. And I'll play it one more time for you. 1, 2, 3, 4.